we went to church with each other for forever. I mean, like they lived down the road from me. And we went to Calvary Baptist.
We were going to Sunday school together, and it was small church. There was probably about 6 in our Sunday school class, a little small country church. And we was gonna have a Sunday school party. Well, I just graduated, and I've always liked her. She's sort of cute, you know, so I asked her to the Sunday school party. And so our first date was December 14th.
He's really proud that he remembered this.
1984. And we dated for 9 months and got married.
And let me tell you one more thing. He was dared to date me. He was dared to ask me out.
Well, I wanted to ask her out, and I was shy, backward, didn't want to, you know, step over that threshold to ask her out. And my brother and sister-in-law dared me to ask her out. So I did. And now, almost 38 years later, still got
what happens?
That's your party. It wasn't very long.
It wasn't very long. It wasn't. I mean,
How
I just knew.
We dated probably a month and a half, 2 months, and started talking about getting married. So that's
I know that's don't. Yeah.
But we had known each other
Yeah.
for
For forever.
10 years prior to that.
Yeah.
So.
I think he just gave me a ring and said, "You want to get married?" I guess so. Why not?
We were on a date, and I didn't have the ring. And I said, we've been talking about it. And I gave it to her. I said, make it official. Do you want to get married? And she said, yeah.
Sure.
That's good.
I really didn't have any thoughts. Not until because we really hadn't talked. You know, we were in Sunday school, and I do remember one time that we were having a meeting at church, and he wanted to stay, and his parents didn't. And so I offered him a ride home, and we talked then.
Okay.
And I mean, he was pretty nice.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, that's enough.
Yeah.
That's enough.
Yeah, we went on a date, and I sat in there and just sort of shuffling my feet, just, you
Not
know,
a curfew, y'all. Come on.
telling her bye, just procrastinating. And she actually leaned in and kissed me first.
Like I said, he had a curfew.
That's right.
They thought it was, they've known her ever since she was born. And they thought she was probably too old and that we were moving too quick. It's because just 9 months. And, but we loved each other, we knew it, so.
Well, my mom passed away like 3 years before we even dated. And so I think she would approve because she always told me to marry someone just like my daddy. My daddy was a good man. So I got a good man.
Well, ever since we got married in church, and we've been in church ever since. And they've been hard times, gone through difficulties of losses and various things, and being in church and having God in our relationship has got us through it. Dated others, and you think you're in love, but it's infatuation. And when you're in love, you know it. And we couldn't stay apart. I was working second shift at the plant, and she was working at Gear Memorial, so she would get off for lunch. I'd go by her house and see her for about 30 minutes or so before she had to go back to work, and I had to go into work. So just couldn't stay apart. We just had to see each other all the time, and with her character and her personality and the type of person she is, knew she was the right one.
Look, okay, so I'm gonna tell, I'm older than he is. Okay, but I tried to break up with him. I tried. Because I'm like, I don't know if this is gonna, and I just couldn't. We just couldn't. I said, you know, it's gotta be. Here we are. We talked about it, and he talked me out of it.
We fell in love, and she says, I'm way too old for you. I said, that's just everybody's perception. I says, that don't really matter.
I think you need to let God be in that story. I think that has to be the number one thing. Because if not, then you're not going to make it.
And you have to be, as the Bible says, evenly yoked. If one's a Christian, one's not, just like with everything else you say, oh, I can convert them. I can bring them into it. It generally goes the other way. And if you're a Christian man, you need to get a good Christian woman. If you're a Christian woman, you need to look for a Christian man, because the morals are going to be different. Everything's going to be different, which is going to cause hardships all the way down the road. So, my advice is get in church, stay in church as a married couple, and raise your kids in church. Take your family to church. You have to take your kids when they're little, bring them up in church so they can see God work in your life and their life. So you can go and worship. You may go a couple of times and it's like going through the motions. But if you take them enough, they actually going to see God work. They're going to get touched by the Word. They're going to hear something and God's going to work with them. I just think that's the vital part to any relationship.
Being grounded. And, like you said, letting the kids see what you're doing. Being involved is the big thing. You can't just go to, I'm going to church and then I'll come home. You have to be involved in things that you like.